We are so back. I am starting season 3 off with the NFC East. And for those of you that don't know, the NFC East consists of the Dallas Cowboys, the Philadelphia Eagles, the Washington Commanders, and the lovely New York Giants. And this season is going to be very interesting, mainly because I believe all 4 of these teams believe they all have their franchise quarterback. And when you have your franchise quarterback, the expectations of you are very high. Obviously, the New York Giants having Jackson Dart, he's going to be the youngest one of the bunch. Jaden Daniels isn't much older than him. However, then you get to the Dak Prescotts of it all and the Jalen Hurts of it all, and it makes this division very interesting. The other thing I find that's very fascinating with this division is the wide receiver group. Arguably, the Dallas Cowboys, and as of the recording of this, the Philadelphia Eagles, you can say their wide receiver group and their other positions in this division might be the best of this division. And that is where things get really fun because you never know what is going to happen when you have an electric offense. Then what makes this even more interesting is you add Harbaugh in the mix. So you now have 2 coaches in this division, 2 head coaches in this division that have won the Super Bowl. So now I don't know what to expect. Last year, the Commanders struggled with injuries, getting hurt, and all those different things. The Cowboys on defense couldn't make a tackle to save their lives. I don't know what happened to the Eagles offense. It just never seemed to get together. And then the New York Giants were the New York Giants as of late, but they seem to be making a run at it. The New York Giants had a good draft. They're now going to have their rookie star quarterback coming back for season 2. They have a new coach. They're geared up to make some moves. And I really like where every single one of these teams are right now. And I even loved how each of these teams drafted, and I even liked how each of these teams moved in free agency. So I am just fascinated to see it. What this division is going to come down to is defense. Who is going to be able to make tackles? Who's going to be able to get to the passer? All of those things are going to matter. The nuance that I really think is going to decide this division is actually going to be offensive line play. Whoever is going to be able to have the better offensive line, to establish their run game early, and to keep those wide receivers at bay is going to be the winner of this division. But having said all of that, you're not here to hear me talk about this division. Let me get into some clips of all the people that I talked to so that you can see all the amazing people that were willing to share their time with me. I'm just popping in here to say, hey, don't forget to subscribe to my channel. Why are you watching content and you're not subscribed to my channel? Do me a solid, subscribe to my channel, like the video, and I will disappear from your screen and I will let you get into your video.
for this year, whatever. So I think that's going to be around the time when he gets released or what's going to happen. But nobody around the league is going to trade for him. Reports came out this week saying that teams were trying to, reach out to him, but he's not making himself available, this, that, and the third. I think nobody's going to give up any draft capital for him or take on what's left of that contract. It doesn't make sense when you can get him for peanuts on $1 on a 1-year prove-it deal. You know what I mean? Yeah. And then maybe next year you re-sign him if he rehabilitates his image or whatever, then, so we'll see.
Yeah, I agree. What do you think, Z? Who was your day 2, day 3? I think you said the running back before, but I just wanted to make sure that was the one.
Well, no, I was saying Matt Goldman, the center.
Oh, right. You said center. Sorry.
Yeah, he was like my favorite pick, just as far as like I was saying with the value and whatnot. But just, even one of I would say an honorable mention would be it's Joshua Joseph. So I've been saying I'm gonna mess his name up, but Joshua Joseph. He was the edge out of Tennessee. He was pretty active last year, like on the tackles, the forced fumbles. I forget his stat line, but I read it off yesterday, and it was pretty. He didn't have a lot of tackles, but he was all over the field, and he was wreaking havoc. So in reference to him, they talk about how his wingspan. He have the wingspan of like an NBA player, so he's like 7 feet, 8 feet wingspan, and that for
okay, this makes sense. Mm-hmm. And then you see the second round pick with Eli Stowers. It just everything starts to make sense when you look at the way Howie Roseman moves. Yeah. And it was just perfect, man, because when you're picking in the later first round, Philadelphia Eagles were at 20. Those real GMs, the really good ones, they thrive in that space, I feel like. So you have to really watch the board, see who falls. You have to see what you got in your pocket to spend to try to move up. And nobody does that like Howie Roseman, man. Nobody does that like Howie Roseman. So I think the draft was perfect. It addressed multiple needs. It got us looking like our offense is going to be different with the departure of A.J. Brown. We took care of business, and that's what you're supposed to do when you feel like you got a legitimate window.
Yeah, that's fair. So is there a day 1 or day 2 or sorry, day 2 or day 3 pick that you were like, all right, that guy could potentially be a steal. Like that he might have something that we need desperately. Or maybe not desperately because you're the Eagles, but you know what I mean?
I've been bouncing back and forth with it. It's either Eli Stowers or Markel Bell, the 6'7" offensive lineman that we drafted. I believe we got both of those guys in day 2. But one of these guys, I think, is going to be special. I kind of lean
for everybody, but if you can get somebody that has that kind of football knowledge and intelligence, as what we've heard about Caleb Downs and what we've seen actually, because the University of Texas played them so many times because we saw him when he was at Alabama and we saw him twice when he was at Ohio State.
Yeah.
So you
shout out to him being at Alabama though.
Exactly. So at least we know what we've seen from him as far as the knowledge and being able to grasp different coordinators and make it happen quickly. So I've been really impressed with that. So appealing is what I would go with when you look at this Dallas Cowboy team.
I like that word. I love that word. So, okay, I like to say as football junkies, as I feel like you are along with me, we are nerds and we want to know, we know who our day 1 pick is. That's great. But however, we all know the draft really starts day 2, day 3. So I would love to know, like, who do you think your day 3 or day 2 or day 3 pick could end up being a steal for your team that maybe people are talking about, but maybe no one's really talking about that you're really thinking about?
And it's funny that you asked me that because I had literally just got done watching some film about this wide receiver.
He's very instinctive in the pocket and he makes plays. He's a playmaker. He's tough. He's gritty. And I think he's just going to continue to get better and better, especially with some real coaching and a real system around him. Heck, if we block for him, the sky's the limit for this kid. So it was a pleasant surprise with Jackson Dart last year. He's the quarterback of the future. Okay. That's for sure.
And then you all had 2 big injuries, Neighbors and Scattaboo. How are they recovering? Are they ready to go week 1? Is it more of a like mid-season? How are both of those guys doing?
Well, they both should be ready by week 1. Heck, Cam Scattaboo is going to be ready for training camp.
Oh, okay.
And so is Neighbors. They're going to bring Neighbors back a little slower because it's ACL. But I think they both should be back primarily by week 1, ready to go. And we get those guys back with the new offensive line, new receivers. Let's see what we can do.
Yeah. No, I've been on record as saying I think the Giants had one of the better drafts, and mainly because every single person that you just saw in this video, I am going to tag their channels in the description. So if you want to find them, you can find them there. The other thing is if they have YouTube channels, I am going to add them as a collaborator so that you can find their channels. And you can also go into the description if you want to find their channels. Historically, I release these videos by how I thought teams were going to finish in the division. This year, I'm just going to release them on how I feel. Just whatever episode I feel like needs to be released that day, I am going to release it. I am also going to premiere it because somebody gave me some really great feedback, so I'm just going to try it and see what happens. Because I'm going to premiere it Monday through Thursday, you will get a new video. It will be 4 p.m. Central, 5 p.m. Eastern, making that 2 p.m. Pacific. I believe, I'm sure I missed some time zones there. However, no matter where you are, it will be there for your enjoyment. And I hope that you enjoy the series. I hope that you enjoy the NFC East as much as I enjoyed recording it. Now, let me know what you think in the comment section below. Which video are you interested to see? Which team are you excited to see? Or are you just excited to see all the teams in this series? Let me know in the comment section below. As always, I'll see you in my next video.